Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I truly appreciate you being here. Today's going to be a super quick video because it is Sunday, the best day of the week, and we actually just got in from meeting with our congregation, and so everyone's here. Actually, my husband just stepped out because I asked him to go and get something for me, but just about everyone is here, and so there's going to be a little bit of noise in the background, so please just forgive that. It's just life happening around us. But I wanted to give you guys an update on my plant cabinet. From the last time I shared information with you guys about this plant cabinet, it had had a major crash, and I just wanted to show you guys how things have changed in the plant cabinet and show you how we were able to shore it up. So to start off with, my husband, I have a little peg here. My husband went and he bought these for me. These are metal brackets that he purchased from Home Depot, and they are being used in place of the pegs that came with this cabinet. And it's not that we removed the pegs as much as we doubled up on it so that these right here are screwed into the wood on the side panels, and so they do not twist and turn, whereas the original pegs, they would twist and turn, and that's what happened when this plant cabinet had the big crash. Everything just slid off of one of the shelves and it had a tidal wave effect. So that's how we solved that problem, because originally I said, well, maybe I'll have to change out the shelves because the shelves are really, really thick and heavy. So, but this right here solved the problem. Now, the other thing that I did was I definitely changed the items that were in this cabinet. Originally, I had a lot of glass vases that I was doing no drainage in with my plants, and that was just too much weight for this type of a setup, and so I've changed that out. And what I did with that change was I put a lot of my smaller alocasia in here, and then on the bottom shelf I have my anthurium. You can see down there, because down here the plants don't get as much light, and you know the anthurium don't like to have that direct light. They burn so easily. So I have the anthurium at the bottom, which some of them are a little bit crowded. Then I have a couple of alocasia that don't like to have a lot of light, because up top these two Sancy lights are so bright. They are very, very, very bright. They are not the type that get hot to the touch because they have like a little dome protective layer on it, but they are very, very strong lights. They definitely stress my Hoyas nicely, so you know that they are very strong. So up here I have, for the most part, all Hoya and alocasia. My Frydek is having a new baby. Look at her. And she's doing well. She is sitting in Leca. Not Leca. She is in Perlite. And I think I'm just going to keep her this way. I like Perlite for my alocasia. It works out really well and it's very lightweight. So I think I'll just keep her in here. Let's see, something else. Something I think I may have to take out is this beauty here. I think I may have to take her out. This is a plant that I chopped with you guys from my mother plant that was a few years old, 3 years old. This was the leaf that came off of it, and then I ended up with this leaf that came out afterward. I don't know why this one came out so small. Oh, I do remember. It suffered from root rot. After I took it away from it suffered from root rot. And so I ended up putting it in Perlite, and all of that problem went away, and now it's having a new baby. So I'm happy about that. But this one may have to come out because it's doing a little bit too much of a shading effect on the level below it, because this leaf is just so big. And you know, the Regal Shields, they tend to get very big very quickly. So we'll see how that goes. And then this was not a plant that suffered in any way, but I just want to show it to you because it's so cute. This is my Australis Lisa that Mona gave me, and I am in love with this plant, but she didn't get damaged in any way. Okay, which else? I'm trying to think about the plants that were in the, oh. This was a plant that sustained heavy damage. This is my Radicans crossed with Luxurians Anthurium, and she suffered heavily. And I know you're looking at this incredibly beautiful, gorgeous, perfect leaf and saying, really, that suffered? That leaf wasn't there. This leaf has popped out since I had that big crash. I don't know what happened with the plants that sustained a lot of injury. They just started spitting out all of this new growth. This had just started to emerge from its little cocoon that it was in. And now here it is like this today. It really hasn't been that long. I'll put it on the screen exactly when the crash happened and what today's date is. And look at this. I'm so happy. I was so happy that the growth point was not damaged. And you can see over here, this leaf, it still looks really good. But this right here, the stem is broken. I just taped it. And the stem is broken on, I think that's the only one that, there are two of them. This one has a broken stem, this one has a broken stem, but they are still intact. This is the one that sustained a lot of damage to the actual leaf. This was the newest arrival and it sustained all this damage, but it's still really good. So I'm really happy about it. Since this happened, I didn't realize that the vase that this was in was actually cracked in the whole process, but I didn't see it at first. But then when I saw it, I just put it into this plastic container and it now has drainage so I can flush it regularly. I love this plant so much. Oh, so much. I bought this one at Bark and Vine. Look how pretty that emergent leaf is. I can literally just stare mesmerized at that leaf all day long. And she only opened fully yesterday. This morning when I got up, it was waving with the fan in front of it, and I didn't know what it was. But then I said, wow, that is my radicans crossed with luxurians. This is another plant that sustained heavy damage in the crash. This plant originally had 3 leaves. The newest leaf and the leaf right before it, they were both knocked off. Just the leaf itself. And so, because you see the stem is still here, since the crash, this leaf has emerged. And it does have a little tiny damage because this had already sprouted out of its little cocoon, but it does have a little piece of damage. But as you can see, it didn't stop growing. It didn't stop being happy. So I'm happy that that didn't happen. Nothing like that happened. My Thai constellation took a heavy hit like this as well. I did show you the leaves to the Thai, and she has a new leaf that's emerging now because the latest growth point wasn't damaged. So it has a new leaf emerging, and so I'm really happy about it. And I'll try to take a picture and put it in here. Okay, now this is another one that sustained damage. So you can see this is my Monstera albo, and you can see this was not here. And I know that these tend to have this problem with the browning a lot on the white parts of the leaves, but this did not have anything like that until the crash. So I can't say that this is not something that happened because of the crash, as much as she has just little damage spots, and that's okay. She survived, she didn't get cracked, and she has a new leaf emerging right there. Can you see it? She's gonna be another mama. She's still in sphagnum moss. I'll be changing her over soon. My forgetii is another one that sustained heavy damage. I actually lost one of the leaves on this altogether. I tried to tape it to see if it would hold on, but it didn't hold on. It ended up dying off, but it was okay. I've come to terms with it at this point. And it has this new leaf right here, which is being bent back. This is an emergent leaf right here, right there. I'm trying not to touch it. That is a new leaf, and that's all since the crash, so yay. This is one of my crystallinums, and this one was completely ripped over here. This was a little tiny emergent leaf, and it got ripped. It got heavily damaged, but it's still coming out and it's still expanding, so we're just letting it do what it does. And that's just that. It's still growing. And here's my other crystallinum, and she sustained heavy damage. And so I taped up these 2 leaves, and they're still holding on. They have not given out. And so I guess they'll just be taped up leaves. This one right here is one of the older leaves, and it didn't go away, didn't go anywhere. And you can see right back here that she has a new leaf that's about to pop out. See that? So they're all doing well. This is another one that sustained heavy damage. This one lost 2 leaves, and this one is a casualty of that little fiasco as well. So this one lost 2 leaves. This is a silver, no, this is a dragon scale. But she's still holding on. She's a little dry right now. And I will say, after the crash, I was really discouraged by everything that happened, and I didn't water these things properly. They were going dry entirely too much, but it was just because it was making me sad looking at all of my damaged plants. So I just didn't look at them. Now, since the crash and the takeover, the changeover, should I say, I decided to put my silver dragon into this space because it's too big for where it was before. So far she's doing just fine. There is a little bit more light in this situation, but she's doing just fine. I just had to watch her to make sure she wasn't getting too bleached out. This one right here is one of her latest leaves, and it is just a little bit, it looks a little bit different from the others. Like it has a little bit of a yellowy kind of bleachy look, but she's still fine, and she upsized everything, so I'm not going to stress out about it. She's fine. I'd like for her to stay in the cabinet because it makes it a little bit more worry-free, but yeah, she's doing good. This is another one that sustained heavy damage, but she lost 2 of the leaves that were on her, but she's still holding on. She's doing really well. This is an alocasia. I think this is my pink dragon. Yes, I think this is my pink dragon. But she has a new leaf about to come out right over here. So I'm happy about that. This is my Clearnervium. What is on the back of you? Is that a boo-boo? Yes, it has a little blemish on the back of it. I don't know if it'll be picked up. Anyway, this was the latest leaf when the crash happened. Since the crash happened, this one emerged. It's still hardening off. This is, so far, this is the one with the longest stem, and it looks like it is blooming again. And I think I'm going to let these blooms just happen. I know I have been cutting the blooms off, but I think I'll just let this one go through the cycle. I don't know anything very much about pollinating, but I'm going to let this one go through the cycle. See there? That looks like it's a bloom to me. And then there's still something coming out of the caterpillar. This was damaged from the crash. But this is her newest leaf. And it looks like she's still growing. The stem on this one is longer and a little bit thicker than this one, and so that makes me believe that it's still going to continue to expand. And can you imagine, this leaf is so perfect, and this was a result of that crash. This is another one that took heavy damage in the crash. This is my Anthurium bellatus, and she definitely took a hit. She lost, I believe, 2 leaves, and these are the 2 leaves that were the latest. And then these right here, they just took, they have damage on the leaves now that it was just not there before. This one has a rip in it, but it didn't come off, so I'm not going to take it off. There is a new leaf right here and a new leaf right there, because I didn't realize that there were actually 2 plants in this pot. I guess that's something that just happened because there was originally just one. So I'm waiting to see how this right here turns out. These leaves are supposed to grow really, really big and long. I'm looking forward to it, but right now they're not upsizing, so obviously I'm not meeting some type of need for it. Now this was a small one that was in the crash, and this is my Alocasia cuprea, and you can see the damage that that one sustained. But it's okay, it emerged a new leaf and it's gorgeous. What's the matter, baby? Okay, I think that is it. I don't think anything else sustained damage. This one you can't see the damage on it because it was, the leaves that got damaged just came off altogether. So it's still holding on, but it's definitely at a standstill right now. It has not had any growth at all since that whole fiasco. This one lost one leaf, I believe. Yes, this is a Alocasia heterophylla dragon's breath, and she did lose a leaf in the whole fiasco, but she's put out this leaf since. The stem is so long. I have it sitting right there on the second shelf, and I'm thinking that maybe it needs to be on the top shelf. But I mean, her leaf, look how slender her leaf is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the way that leaf looks. This one right here is more stout. But then, oh, where did you come from? There's a fly in here. But this one is definitely long and lean. I love this plant. Okay, now this one did not sustain damage because I didn't have it. This is my newest Alocasia baby. This is Alocasia Loco, and this was a wish list plant for me, a major wish list plant for me. I have had her for 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks. She just got her dome taken off of her. This is one I ordered from Green Escape, and I had her with a closed dome on top so that she can be in this cabinet protected, but then at the same time I didn't want her to infect my other plants with anything that she might have. But after the 2 weeks, I took the dome off. I didn't see anything running around in the dome, so I said, okay, maybe I'll take your little dome off. And since I took the dome off, that's when I started to notice it start to unfurl a little bit more. This is the latest leaf down in here. It was not unfurled until I took this little thing off. So now she's happy. That's Daddy, baby. Daddy's back. So she is doing well, and I look forward to her getting big. Now this one right here I thought was, okay babe, okay. This one right here I thought was going to have a major problem. I thought I had lost some leaves because at first this was the only stem that I saw, but it turns out that that was a secondary stem. All of these, I thought I had lost this whole stem, but I didn't, so I was really happy about that. And then look at the beautiful leaf that it's been working on. Look at this. This is a Parasitica Splash Hoya. Yes, Hoya. Look at that. Originally she had fabulous splashing, and now she has this yumminess. Look at that. Let me move my big head. That yumminess. Oh, I just love her. And she just has little sprouts of growth just everywhere. I love this plant. And I purchased this in Home Depot. I just wanted to get this just uploaded for you guys so that you would see that the plants are doing better. Thank you so much for everyone who asked about how the plant shelf was doing, because yes, I do still love it, but I was hurt by that crash. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Thank you so much for sharing a part of your Sunday with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye guys.